All right, welcome back. And I'm Brad Ball. This is James Cannington with Ardent Creative in Fort Worth, Texas. I think I forgot to do that the last couple times I've done videos, but hopefully you know where we are now. But it's the week of Thanksgiving. And so today we will just talk about, being thankful, but also kind of what we do around Thanksgiving as a company. And typically the week before Thanksgiving, the Friday before, we have basically a big potluck where James actually smokes. Well, actually, he'll smoke a turkey, but then you do a roast one.
I've fried them. I've done several different things.
Let's just say he does all kinds of good things with a turkey. And so this year, I sent out a survey to all the staff because of COVID. Okay, what is everybody's bandwidth in terms of getting together, and what can we do? Because it's a tradition, and for us, Thanksgiving is probably the most popular holiday. I mean, obviously Christmas is a big deal, but there's just something about Thanksgiving, us getting together, and I'll make a couple pies, but everybody brings their favorite dish, and then we all just get around the table and really talk about what we're thankful for and where we're at as a business. And so it's really kind of a bummer that all this COVID stuff happened, because with everybody being remote, how do we do that this year? And so I sent a survey out, and the initial survey was kind of mixed because I didn't just do yes or no. There were some other things in there to try to really find out where they're at. And there was a couple people that said they want James's turkey. And I pretty much come to the conclusion that we wouldn't do a potluck just because of different people touching it, and how that could be construed, or if somebody got sick, God forbid, and then is there any liability on us? So basically we are looking at doing individual packaged meals from like Babe's Chicken House. Everybody loves that and would be easy to do, and then we could have everybody come here and socially distance in small groups, but that wasn't the greatest idea either. So in the survey, it was mixed, and some people wanted to get together, some people didn't, which I figured would happen. But then I got a call with one of our departments just to really find out from them if they would really communicate how they were feeling about it. And this one department is pretty overwhelming that they didn't want to get together face-to-face for whatever reason. And they had valid reasons. Maybe one was takes care of an elderly parent or grandparent, and they don't want to risk that. Or, there's so many different factors to that. So then what's the next step? And so it was a long process, but really what we're having to do now is we're going to buy gift cards, say like Chipotle. Everybody loves Chipotle.
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving, which totally sucks. I mean, I guess we could do like Boston Market or something, but no. So what's something we can do that basically we're going to buy the lunch like we normally do, and then have our Zoom call. But doing Zoom a little different. And I don't know if you've done this, but Zoom, you can do breakout rooms. And even at Thanksgiving, when everybody's together, people sit kind of in their own areas so they can talk about things, or really have one-on-one time with their friends or their coworkers. And so we're going to have breakout rooms where people can break out into smaller groups where they can actually have conversations, and it's not overwhelming with 30 people in the room. And so that's what we're going to do. So no face-to-face, which is a real bummer, but we're still trying to keep that tradition alive. Yeah. And so we'll probably do some other things that we can kind of continue on with this conversation. But how is your response to all this when it comes to Thanksgiving? Because I know this was you would take 2 days and just cook like crazy.
3 days.
3 days?
3 days. Partly it's a relief, because literally I had to cook four turkeys, and I only have one oven at home. I don't have, you have like three ovens?
No, I have two.
Two, okay.
It's one's a small bread oven.
That's in the.
It's one.
That's your first kitchen. In the other kitchen, you got.
I wish. No, okay. Not even.
So there's part of a relief, just because it does take me 3 days to do all the prep work and that I do, and then there's the missing the tradition. Uh, uh, I, I have a love-hate thing with traditions that I feel are hindering. I want to, I like to, get rid of them, and sometimes it offends people, if I'm not following tradition. But other traditions are like, they're a blanket for your soul, and it's like, that going home for Christmas, or doing family things. And we've been doing this. I remember the first time, when I several years ago when the first time I cooked a turkey for it, and it was it started, and we've been doing it all these years, and it's been good. It's the only thing is, as the company grew, the more turkeys I had to make to do that. So I feel that we'll get back to that hopefully next year, and that blanket will come back, and those type of traditions, those things are what give us a semblance in our lives, that we can go from things that you do on certain holidays with your family or friends, and this was something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to hear from the internet world of how they feel about Thanksgiving, because there's a lot of different things coming out of limiting Thanksgiving to 10 people, and I know for me personally, that's not going to happen. I mean, I've got 5 in my own family, and then if my brother or my wife's brother and his family, and then my mother-in-law, I mean, that's 10 right there. And so, it's really hard just in one family unit, technically 2, to stay within that parameter. And for me, Thanksgiving and family is the most important aspect of it. And, for us, we'll keep it tight, but that also applies into the company, because we have that family environment of, we really want to see the best out of our people and for our people, and that includes their families. And I remember there's a story, and this was at Christmas time. One of our employees at the time, he came up to me after basically we went through this whole Christmas thing, and he comes up and he goes, "Man, Ardent is the best place I've ever worked for." And he said that when you say family, you mean family. If I have something to take care of the family, you tell me I can go take care of it. Just get your work done. And that's kind of our attitude overall, is that if you have responsibilities or you have things that you need to do with your family, as long as you get your work done, it's not a problem. Because if you're happy, if your spouse is happy, you're going to be happy and you're going to produce better work. But if you're stressed at home and you bring that to work, it's just going to compound to hurt what you do. And so the more we can encourage that type of environment and encourage our employees to really enjoy their lives, they're going to enjoy their work. And the minute we pull that from them, and yes, we have stressful days, and yes, there's times that they get overloaded, but the more we can encourage them, the better they're going to be.
Yeah, and I've said this example before, around the office. Growing up, a big influence on me was David Letterman, and one thing that I loved about David Letterman was, when he retired, after 35 years, he had a handful of people on the staff that had been with him the majority of those 35 years. And in fact, one of them was Biff Henderson, which he's the stage manager. And Dave said he has been with him every day for the last 35 years. He's worked with him longer than anybody, because he was on a previous show with Dave before the Late Show. And I always thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to work with a group of people that you loved working, that you loved doing what you love to do with the people you love to do it with. And that was always, that was an ideal. I know it's not realistic in many ways, that to go 35 years with the same people, and to like those people. I mean, that's a hard thing, to find a group of people that have the same love for what they do and want to pursue it and grow together. Mm-hmm. And I think that we have that in many ways, with people in the company. And does that mean that we're all going to be here 25 years from now? Who knows? Mm-hmm. But that would be great because I always thought, Dave and Paul and the other people on staff, they were with them when they got married, when they had kids. They saw the kids grow up. They were a family, and I just thought that was a cool thing, to be able to experience that, and each person being a leader in their field, mm-hmm. being the best of the best, and it's an ideal. And I would like to be able to say at least maybe attempt that, and I think we have that in some ways here.
Well, I think in many ways we've been in business for almost 15 years now. Actually, it has been 15. Sorry, this year, because we started in 2005. And there's a few employees that have been with us from almost the beginning. You've been with us for 10 to 12.
About 12, 13. Yeah.
12, 13?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a long time, so that's almost from the beginning. And so I think that we retain a lot of employees because of this mentality and this aspect or flexibility of work environment, of the family first. And so because I think everybody wants their families to be first, and that's what they're generally most thankful for in this time of Thanksgiving. And if we can encourage that, we're only going to get better, and we're only going to get stronger. And it makes me think of one of our art directors and executive team members. Her name's Anna, and she was an intern here for a period of time, and she was solicited by other agencies, but basically she was so great. I think her semester, she was here in the summer or fall semester, and then we hired her part-time while she finished her last semester of college, and then hired her specifically when she graduated. So she knew that she was going to have a job when she graduated, and she's never left. She's recruited other interns who have then become employees, and she's one of our biggest advocates because she's started from the beginning and just keeps going through. And even now, she's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. You're going to have to fire me if you want to get me to leave, which we wouldn't do because she's valuable to the company. But that kind of aspect of trust and commitment to the company is amazing. And she's not the only one that kind of has that attitude. And it's exciting to see people grab a hold of that. And I think that also comes back to one of the things that we really try to do is empower our employees. We're thankful for them, but also give them the ability to make decisions that, in the beginning, a lot of things, and I've mentioned it before, if you want to get it done right, you do it yourself. I'm a fast designer, but that's the wrong mentality as a business owner or a leader, is you really got to set up your employees to grow and to succeed and or fail. And if they fail, it doesn't mean, oh, I'm firing you. It means, okay, this is what you need to do. It's a way that we can teach, coach, and guide them. Because at the end of the day, if somebody's going to leave the company, they're going to leave better than when they arrived here. And I think that's the most important thing we can do as a company, regardless of how successful or how profitable we are. If we're empowering and giving our employees the ability to succeed, then I think it's a win. And yes, we want to be profitable. Yes, we want to grow the business. But I think the more we sow into employees, the better that gets. And
one thing I think that, and I don't know, this is something we have to tell people or ask them as far as in the office. The one reason why people were with Dave for so long is that they were able to shine on their own, at least as much as they wanted. If I know that if I want to do something that's maybe out of my lane a bit with Ardent, I know that I can do it, and that I can say, hey, I think I got an idea. We can do this, and and where I don't have to quit Ardent to go do my own thing, and and who knows what would happen. And so I think if other employees felt a desire to try something or to expand their position, we would be completely behind them to see what they can do, and because it's going to make Ardent better, and it's going to maybe expand our offerings. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, because one of our visions is to be an incubator for other businesses, and so over the years we've started a couple businesses that for different reasons didn't take off. We're in the midst of a software company launch that has huge potential, and it's been a grind just trying to get off the ground. But that's what we want to do. You don't grow if you don't take risks, and that's both as a company or as an employee. And we want our employees to see what we built here as a resource or a means to do other things. And we're great at building software, at designing brands, at all these things we do for other companies. And so why not ourselves or for our own team? And so the more we can do that, the stronger and the bigger we'll become. And I think that's important, is it gives the employees the means to share ideas. And sometimes they are apprehensive about sharing ideas, maybe because of criticism or whatnot, but that's the environment we want to create. And I think every business leader needs to be able to do that to their employees. Otherwise they're going to grow stagnant and not grow, and then they're going to leave. And I think one of the hardest things is when somebody leaves is finding a replacement. And I think we've been successful in a lot of times when somebody leaves, we hire somebody that fits or is in some ways better than the previous person, or at least we want to hope that way, because we always find things that we can do better. And just retraining people takes a lot of time and resources, and the more you can keep your people, the better it's going to be moving forward. Yep. So I think this all goes back to, what are you thankful for as a person, as a company? And we're thankful for our employees, we're thankful for our clients, and we want to hear kind of from you, what are you thankful for, and what are the great things about the businesses you work for that you can highlight? Put them in comments, send us a message, because we really want to collaborate with the world out there. And we're not the end all be all, but 15 years we've learned a lot of things in the process. So if you struggle with being thankful for things, get your mind, what I tell my kids, get your mind right. Find out what the problem is, and really work on it, because the more you can devote to that and get your mind right, or your mind focused, the better off you're going to be.
Okay.
So that's it for Thanksgiving week. So I hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.
Go make a turkey.